Hey guys, welcome to the post-credit show. I'm your host, Ronnie Williams, and our hypnotist today is...
Serge.
Hey, Serge.
How are you, Ronnie?
I'm good, man. We're referencing with the, stirring spoon, Get Out, but we're also talking Us this week, both Jordan Peele joints.
The director?
And writer.
Oh, my.
Yeah, he goes all in on his films.
Yeah, I managed to see Get Out.
Great, we can talk about that too.
They're both very eerie movies.
Yes.
And they're funny and entertaining.
Any post-credit scenes for either movie?
I didn't see any post-credits.
Nope, no post-credit scenes. Sorry, folks. But I tell you what, we're going to talk about the movie and also give our ratings.
Okay.
How soon should people watch Get Out?
I say watch it within the next 10 days.
Ooh, I'll say in the next 9.
Oh, okay.
No, Get Out is a fine movie. A lot of people are putting it before the new one. But yeah, I really enjoy Get Out. In fact, I'd see Get Out and then watch it again if you haven't seen it again. Like, it's like a 2 viewing guaranteed movie. Particularly one person's performance. No spoilers yet.
Yeah, I saw Get Out and then I saw Us.
Cool. So how soon should people watch Us?
I thought that's the one we said. I said within 10 days.
Oh, no, I did Get Out first.
Oh, okay.
Whoops.
So if I want to say Get Out, you should watch it before the summer.
Okay. And then Us is 10 days?
Within 10 days.
Okay, I say, I got myself confused. Get Out within 9 days.
Okay.
And Us, see it this week.
Sounds fair.
Yeah, because it's a conversation piece to say the least.
Yes.
Like, lots to talk about. Maybe even more to talk about than Get Out.
Maybe.
Like, it's a bigger puzzle, I think.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, lots of layers. And also, if you're joining us, please let us know your, thoughts on either movie. And because this is your show, and any other, movies that make you think a lot, feel free to chime in.
Oh, I see you.
So the only thing I knew about Hands Across America was a Simpsons clip, and it was just like them standing, going, Hands Across America.
There's also an episode, he's like, can you imagine a world without lawyers? And then everybody's holding hands.
Oh, that's so good.
I totally missed that one at the beginning where they said Hands Across America, and I didn't catch the reference later.
Yeah. I didn't think about it until the movie forced you to think about it.
Yeah.
Like when they first show the creepy family standing in the driveway, they're all holding hands, and I'm like, oh, great imagery.
It's a brilliant scene. It's
Yes.
really well done.
Very well done.
Creepy music says, Gwen, how are you, Gwen?
Oh yeah, hey Gwen. When I was looking through the cast list, I noticed one of the characters was named Gwen.
Who's Gwen?
One of the cartwheeling twins. One of the good ones, but even the good ones weren't terribly good.
They weren't the same actresses?
No, I looked at it. They had the same last name, but no, they were legit twins.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, it's kind of clever and meta to use twins in a movie about twins,
right.
Like it's a real easy to do thing. I'm wondering we're gonna definitely get into spoilers. So let's just call spoilers for Us and Get Out.
And Get Out.
We'll get to Get Out, let's say, at the last half.
Okay.
If you guys are giving us comments on Get Out, we'll dive more into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder when they killed off the cartwheeling twins, they had each twin, on stage at the same time killing each other, Because a lot of times when they do doubles for movies, it's like blue screened, and so like they're sectioned off, or they'll have a double and shoot them from behind.
Yeah, you only see the back part of their hair.
So if I was gonna, if we wanted double Sergio, they'd put me in a black wig, and I'd just be like this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I haven't seen a good thriller in a while, so this is not a horror movie. It's more of a it's like creepy,
right. Social thriller, I think, is what they call Get Out. And like I saw an ad for like just a kid in a crowd not enthusiastic, and he said when you find out that Us is a horror movie and not a social thriller, and I'm like, it still is a social thriller.
I wouldn't consider it a horror movie.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it didn't have gore. How much of a horror? There was not scenes that were like really difficult to see. Most of it is like, to me, it was almost PG-13.
Yeah, it might have been.
Was it PG-13?
No. There was red band trailers in my viewing, so no, it had to be rated R.
Okay.
I love those red band trailers before this movie. I saw a bunch of horror previews, and I'm like, oh, I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We're definitely covering that on the show.
Mr. Quentin
Tarantino's ninth film. Rachel Williams like, yeah, I need to see this. You totally do, Rach. Yeah, it's pretty good. I never want to turn away one of our viewers, but this is going to be pretty spoiler heavy because both movies, you don't want to know what's going on. Is that fair?
That's very fair, yeah. A lot of twists and turns. So they're out in Santa Cruz, right? I've never been out there.
No, where is Santa Cruz? We're here in California, just outside of Hollywood.
No, but the movie.
Right, the movie. Where's Santa Cruz?
I believe it's somewhere closer to San Francisco.
So north up the coast?
Yeah.
And would it be reasonable, you think, to drive down the coast to Mexico?
All the way to Baja, California.
So, yeah. And, like, as we're bringing up locations, an alternate title for this film could be U.S., United States, because it's very much an American film. Like, they go out of the way, like when they first encounter their mirrors, they ask, who are you? They go, we are Americans. And you're like, oh.
I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Someone discovered me.
Wait. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's totally a Santa t-shirt. But hey, it makes more sense in the movie. All over the internet, they're like, where'd they get those red jumpsuits? Where'd they get those scissors? And I'm like, well, I'm doing my own explanation. It's like, who would wear this, most of the year? Red, I think, is like a throwaway color that people could find.
Yeah.
So, there.
So any theories on where they got the scissors from?
I don't know. Where'd they get the bunnies from? Where did they come from? These are all questions that have no answers.
Right. And they intentionally don't have answers.
Yeah, and I think that doesn't really matter, because it's a metaphor. You look too closely, it's like, where did the sound monsters come from in A Quiet Place, Doesn't matter. Why didn't the family live next to the waterfall in A Quiet Place? Doesn't matter. You look too carefully at a horror movie, it will fall apart. The better horror movies, I feel, you don't care to look at it. Like if you suspension of belief, if you like the movie, you're suspending your belief all the way, so you really don't care about these little questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I had more appreciation to like the way the little brother had the mask on and his burnt face.
Oh yeah, I got a lot to say about that one.
There was a very powerful scene where he starts stepping back and the kid starts stepping back, almost like I'm a mirror, like
right.
Like he walks him into like the fire. And
yeah. So I was reading comments. Someone pointed out whenever the young kid put the monkey mask over his face, he seemed to have complete control over his double. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Oh.
You know, and I think that's when the young kid feels more secure. That's the whole reason behind the mask. And I love that it's never addressed in the movie that this kid is wearing a dopey gorilla mask on top of his head most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. Gwen, lots of thoughts. I thought the father was funny. Totally agree with you on that one, Gwen. Played by Winston Duke of Black Panther.
Is it?
Yes, he was M'Baku.
Who's M'Baku?
Yeehaw, ooh, ooh. Yeehaw, ooh, ooh. He was the guy who challenged Black Panther to be king the first time.
Oh.
You know, and everybody's like, oh, even though he's pudgy, he's sexy. You know, at least on the internet.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, when Black Panther lost their powers and the gals were scrambling with the magic fruit, I wanted him to get it and become the new Black Panther. But nope. Oh, and the main girl was in Black Panther.
Lupita?
Yeah. Yeah. Lupita Nyong'o, she was Black Panther's ex-girlfriend in Black Panther.
I don't remember Black Panther.
She was terribly underwritten in Black Panther. Like, I didn't see the point of her character.
Was she the one who was like in the repairing in the office? Like fixing?
No, that's his sister Siri. And then there's the captain of the guard with the spear. And then she had like Xena round blades, his ex-girlfriend. Yeah.
I don't really recall Black Panther.
No, yeah, she was terribly underwritten in Black Panther, but she shines in this movie. Just knocks it out of the park with her acting.
Her acting was really, really good.
Everybody's acting. I mean, even Tim Heidecker, the other family, he's like a pompous jackass guy.
When he was laying down and he didn't want to go out and check.
Yeah, he's like, I'm in my comfy chair.
This is my comfy zone.
Yeah. Tim Heidecker, he was also from the Tim and Eric show. Good job. So much like Key and Peele, I could see why he picked him to be in the show because he's also from a sketch comedy background.
Oh, okay.
And like I read comments on Reddit and they're like saying, like I loved how like when he did his movement, the mirror was doing his movements. Like, oh, look at my house, and just like, just I loved all that stuff when the dad was facing off. Winston Duke's character was facing off with Tim Heidecker. Loved it.
When he shoots him with the flare.
I loved it that it didn't work. But I also loved it too that, like he pointed out, like if your double appeared, I could just go.
Yeah. Oh, he's telling his wife, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, casual domestic abuse joke. I love it.
No.
I love them. Ooh, Gwen points out a good philosophical question.
Let's hear it.
Wouldn't it be weird to kill yourself or hit someone that looks like your kids?
I disagree with you, Gwen.
Ooh, let's hear it.
I think some parents really want to whip their kids.
Just like that trailer of
Yeah.
Little. Just whack, whack, whack. Beat your kids.
So you're not my kid, huh?
Right. But I could see it too, like it's like they're also playing out, that it's still ambiguous what's going on with the mom, and so her like seeing her kids all torn up, that would affect you. Like most moms, it would make you feel some way. Like you could logically write it up, these are not your kids, but also just seeing them like that would be horrifying.
Yeah, some kind of sympathy here. Like, oh, he looks just like my.
Right. And I'm wondering, like, I was waiting for, like, during the movie, the main part of the movie, for someone to do a switcheroo. Someone to wear the clothes and you think it's them. Or, like, you saw a dead person and you're like, oh, they're dead. Oh, wait, no, they're not,
Yeah, for somebody to put on the red suit. I was also waiting. I thought she was going to put it on when she went down there.
I thought she was going to put on the red suit, too, and make all her family wear the red suits. And, like, okay, we just got to act casual now. Also reminded me of The Simpsons, like Homer in the time toaster, like he doesn't go back to his, like everybody has long lizard tongues and he's like, close enough.
Yeah. The movie reminded me of The Other Side. Is that the Other Side? Where one family's dead and the other one's on the other side?
The Others.
Others. There you go.
Right. So spoiler for The Others. I never saw it, but someone spoiled it for me. Like there's this family, and they keep seeing this other family. They think those are the ghosts. Turns out they were the ghosts the whole time.
Right. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
And there is another Simpsons episode, the Treehouse, where the duplicate Bart is down there eating fish heads. So,
yeah, that's totally that flows, man. Yeah. I went mad, and it turns out Bart was the evil one all along.
Right.
They totally ripped off the Simpsons.
Yeah, totally did.
Yeah. I'm going through Star Trek The Next Generation right now, and like everything gets ripped off is what my point. Like I'm watching some episodes like, oh, Black Mirror did that. Black Mirror did that, you know. If it's in the same genre, it does get copied.
Yeah. Because it's difficult to end the movie, you know. The movie was very extensive, the action was good, it had comedy, and then like how do you end it? You know?
Right.
It's so difficult.
Let me know what you think about this theory. I don't know. So they said that each of the 4 family members was killed by a different element. So the young kid definitely taken out by fire.
Okay.
The dad taken out by water on a boat.
Okay.
The girl was taken out by nature or land or whatever by being flung into a tree.
She got taken out by air.
Well, the mom got taken out by air because she was strangled to death.
Okay.
So yeah. What do you think of that theory? 4 elements.
Just provides a variety, yeah.
Yeah, just a variety. Yeah, I didn't, because the air and nature one's a bit of a stretch. But I love that they're unique kills. How often do you see someone get taken out by a crummy motor blade?
Oh wait, she was taken out by the earth.
Right.
She hits a tree branch or something, right?
Right. She's impaled on a tree.
Yeah.
Pretty horrific.
Yeah. Okay.
So you think there's some cadence to that?
I think it was something the director intentionally made that way.
Okay.
So
yeah, and what's nice with Jordan Peele, last time when he did Get Out, like 2 weeks after the movie, he did a little video, you know, bringing up people's comments and theories online. He's like, "Wow, you guys are way smart." Yeah, I totally did that.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm hoping he does it for this movie as well.
Or maybe he didn't do it intentionally, and then he's like taking credit for it.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah.
I'm gonna call you out on that, Mr. Peele.
Right. But it's interesting that the others had names too, and they had like significance. You know, like Abraham was the Winston Duke's other. You know, and Abraham in the Bible is like the father of many nations or all nations. You know, and he's like the father of the new America. You know,
new America,
or he would have been.
So there was a lot of clones. Were they clones?
I called them shadows, you know.
Shadows.
Yeah. And I think that comes from like Peter Pan, because Peter Pan's shadow just took off and he had to sew it back on. That's why I think the scissors imagery, because you cut, sewn together things, you know. Gwen brings up an excellent question. Why couldn't they speak?
Well, they were shadows, right?
Partly that, and partly I think since they're underground, like they don't know what's going on the surface most of the time. You know, like they're given very small little props down there. There's classroom desks for some reason, bunk beds for some reason, and just like waiting areas, you know, and then closets to hang out in.
Yeah, I've read too that if you grew up like in an enclosed environment, your brain doesn't develop. And you don't really make speech or like. And
I heard like language is like huge, like for brain development stuff. So I don't think they had language until so here's the big spoiler. I think we've tiptoed around it, but the main girl got switched as a child.
Right.
And so since she had language going down, you know, she brought language to them. Like, I don't think they communicated at all. Like, I think when, you know, they're showing the downstairs dad, sure, they're like completely silent, or like when they're doing the roller coaster, it's just like, they're not real. But after years down there, they're like grunting and they're going, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So she gives them communication, being like, hey, you don't have to do these movements,
You can talk.
Right. So yeah, and like I actually called it right at the beginning, like, oh, she got Parent Trap. They switched her.
That's what I said too when I saw it, but I was hoping I was wrong.
See, the whole time I was hoping I was right. Like there was one like thing to throw me off like early on. I'm like, oh, maybe not. But then I was like, nope, I was right, because her double was the only one who could speak. Right. And I'm like, that's a dead giveaway for me, And I saw it as like some people said, oh, her larynx got crushed. That's why she's so raspy talking at first. But I think the shadow actually like stole her voice.
Wow.
Kind of. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Like supernatural.
That's a better theory.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if the girl could get out. I mean, they have a flight of stairs that only goes down. Right?
Yeah, it's an escalator that only goes down.
So how did she get up? It was something I was wondering.
Right. I think that shows just the willpower of the double. Red, who becomes, fake Accolade.
I mean, I've tried to run up the escalator that comes down.
It's
It
tough.
is very, very difficult.
Depending on the escalator. Some are easier than others.
Especially at the end, like where you got to jump off the thing.
Oh, yeah. So I think it was just like willpower. But I think to get all the dum-dums out of there, they just clogged it up with scissors.
Oh, okay.
If they have enough for each person, they probably have a couple spares they could jam in there.
I wonder where they got them. It would only have to be like at a craft store or something.
That'd be funny. A Joanna's closed down.
Yeah.
All these craft stores are closing down because of Amazon or something.
Oh, no.
That could be it. I like it.
Yeah. They stole a shipment from Michael's.
Gwen's chiming in some more. I was surprised they weren't the only family that had doubles. I love that part. When you realized, oh shoot, they're not the only doubles.
Yeah, because the movie was coming to a close.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so the family got out. And all of a sudden the neighbor, and all the other ones come in and they slice them, and I'm like, oh no, this is just getting started,
Right, and I'm like, how big is this? Because you knew both those families went to that beach, and then as it goes on, you realized, oh, that homeless bum was replaced. Like he saw the replacement already there, waiting to hold hands.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I just realized he was waiting to hold hands.
No, I knew that.
Okay.
I was like,
I just thought he's like, oh, I'm in the sun for the first time.
Right. He's like waiting there to make the chain. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So yeah, to go along with Gwen's further comment, do you think it was everywhere? And I'm like, no, it's just America. What do you think?
Well, I really didn't think about it. I was just like, I just want to know where the tunnels meant.
Right. Well, so at the beginning, they're like, there's tunnels everywhere, which is kind of true, but we do know what most of them do. Like some of them we don't. Like under Chicago, like I read a lot of fantasy, and that's definitely part of the Dresden Files, that there's like an undertown under Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, like because Chicago like sunk down in the mud, so there's like whole buildings down there and stuff. Yeah. I don't know how much is actually, viable, but, people, with nothing but time on their hands, they'll dig out weird tunnels,
Really?
And in World War Z, like one of the freakiest chapters in it is the catacombs under France, because they have to clear all that out because a lot of people fled down there to escape the zombies, only to become zombies down there.
No.
And it's like pitch black, no mapping, and there's like Roman tunnels, where they actually buried people, and tunnels that people dug out themselves, and it's a great chapter.
Oh no!
I love me some World War Z. #zombies.
I've been to some tunnels in downtown LA, and they call it the archives, you know.
Oh, okay.
So we go down there. It's like eight. It goes down the elevator.
Ooh.
And you go in there, and like you can feel that there's no air, you know, and it's kind of like
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
What do they store down there?
I don't know. You just look into there, and they have like offices full of paper, and I'm like crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say it's only in America because of the title U.S. and it's Hands Across America, and they point out that the tunnels are in America, and you know the girl thinks they'll be fine getting to Mexico, and she would know because she lived underground for so long. Mm-hmm. She knows that it's only as far as America. And, I mean, we could get into what the metaphor for this movie is, because I couldn't figure it out on my own. I had to look it up.
What's the metaphor? Because they had a lot of mixed messages.
A lot of mixed messages. So what I read online, like, it all has to do with Hands Across America. So Hands Across America was like a failed fundraiser to feed the homeless in Hungary.
Okay.
And so I think this is all about the disenfranchisement of the homeless. You know, we live on the surface, you know, and able to live great lives just because we ignore the homeless completely. You know, something like that. You know.
Okay.
You know, we're all elites compared to the homeless. The homeless, they can only play with sharp things and eat rabbits, you know. And I think that's kind of like why there was classrooms and bunk beds down below.
Kind of like to symbolize shelters.
Yeah, shelters and our worthless solutions. Let's just educate the homeless. That's going to solve it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, no, these are systemic problems.
Yeah.
It takes much more than a couple beds and desks.
Yeah.
You know, and rabbit stew.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I think. But I also, you know, for me, I think it also extends to, you know, the working poor, you know, like people who can't get out. Like, you know, like it is a leap between someone who's homeless and someone who's working poor. But, you know, as a guy who comes without money, you know, been broke most of the time, like, you know this Marie Kondo, Tidying Up with Marie Kondo on Netflix?
No.
So, like, one of her philosophies is you pick up each object in your home, and if it doesn't give you joy, you kiss it goodbye and let it go. And I'm like, no, I might need that one day. Like, it's a poor person move to hoard stuff because you might need it. Like, some people go too far, but, you know, let's say I pop out a dent in my car with a pry bar and a suction cup, you know, I might need that pry bar one day. I can't think of a reason currently why I might need it, but you don't just throw that away. You know, if you're rich enough to where you can, you know, buy and get rid of a pry bar or hire someone to, you know, fix your dents for you, sure, you can get rid of your junk. But, you know, I think that's like an elitist type sentiment, you know.
Different philosophy, yeah.
Right.
I personally just don't buy stuff because it ends up being stored for no reason.
Yeah, and that's another poor person strategy as well. You know, life hacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to do a parody version of Tidying Up about, you know, slobbing it up with Ronnie. It's like, why clean up everything? You know?
It's just going to get dirty again.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about Get Out?
Yeah, let's shift and Get Out for anybody joining us. You know, please give us your comments on Get Out. Get Out, solid movie. I really enjoy it. I think more accessible because it's less frightening than, I believe,
Us?
Us, yeah.
I think it was just I think the correct word for both of these movies would be creepy.
Creepy, yes.
Creepy and eerie.
I love creepy over jump scare. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll take anything over jump scare, actually.
Yeah.
You know, unease is great. Atmosphere, great. You know.
Yeah. Like, I like the way the characters were developed. Like I knew it, like, when he was talking to the people at the party at the gathering.
Yeah.
And they were like, I'm like, oh, these guys are all hypnotized, you know? Like,
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to spoil anything. I hope I didn't.
Well, so yeah, we're yes, white people are scary, Gwen. Interesting comment. But no, like, but it is weird going to a party where you don't know anybody. Mm-hmm. And then to add on top of that, oh, it's white people, you know, and they are acting weird around them. And white people do act weird around minorities sometimes. I mean, I don't, but sometimes they do, you know. Yeah. It's just like, you know, people are people, just treat them like such, you know.
I think that goes like by different races anywhere, you know. I've walked into a place and it's full of Asian people and like, you stick out, you know what I mean?
Right. Like, where I used to work, they called me white boy. Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of racist, but you know, it wasn't, you know, intentionally bad. They just didn't know, you know. Yeah. It was just more from a place of ignorance than actual malice, you know. So that's why I never said nothing. But I was like, oh, okay.
That's just the reality.
Yeah. Gwen was like, they were too friendly. Yeah.
They were too friendly.
Yeah, at the party, yeah. They're like, and too prying too, but as you go on, you realize, oh, they're actually like sizing him up like he's a piece of meat, you know.
I like the part where they win the bid and they got bingo cards.
Oh yeah, I was like
genius.
I love that, the whole silent thing, and like he's having a conversation with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend, oh man, she is so well acted.
She really sells it, you know.
I heard Jordan Peele in this first draft, he didn't have it ambiguous whether or not she was good or bad, and then he's like, no, it's way better to have her be ambiguous whether or not she's pro, you know.
She's with the family or is she with the boyfriend, you know?
And I also heard that the original ending for Get Out was way bleaker.
What was it?
Well, can you imagine what it would have been?
No.
So the real cops show up and, you know, just shoot him dead, you know?
Oh.
Because it's like, oh, white woman bleeding out, black man with gun. What is going to happen in America?
Oh, Jordan Peele. What are you doing?
Right. But I love that he went a more positive ending, you know? Like, it could have just as easily been that, you know? And quite a few movies do go that way, you know? I like the lighter ending. I mean, most people do, you know, movie fans. Yeah. I think, like lighter endings.
Yeah, if I was the main character, what was the main character's name? I would have been terrified of that scene where they're about to trap him and he knows it. You know, he's cornered, you know. And the family's there and the brother's there and the girlfriend's there and you're like, oh no, we're going down. Jeez.
Yeah. And it's like interesting too, like that one, definitely the deaths have to do with like white elitism, you know, the coffee cup and that's like an aristocrat thing, having tea. I think the brother was taken out by like a rugby or lacrosse thing.
Yeah.
You know, the dad taken out by a buck deer, you know. That's definitely a redneck thing, hunting, you know. Yeah.
He likes to kill the deer.
Yeah. So, yeah.
The most difficult scene in that movie was definitely when they were cutting off the guy's brain.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was like...
Oh, you do that?
Like, I can't stomach this too well, you know.
As a zombie fan, I'm like, when it's in a horror movie, I'm okay with it. It's like when it's in like a serious drama, for some reason, then it grosses me out.
Oh.
Like, you know, all of a sudden they're doing surgery on somebody and showing you the guts, you know. Like if it's not in line with whatever I'm watching, like if it's a medical show and they're doing gross medical stuff, I'm fine. You know, zombie movies, I'm fine. If it's, you know...
Just to let you know, I am never fine with this.
Really?
It's not my thing, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, oh, Hannibal Lecter. I was like, oh,
no. I'm sorry I made you watch Cannibal Apocalypse.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. We haven't seen... I'm not even sure that's the right title.
Anyways.
Any further thoughts on Get Out?
I give much credit to this director.
Yeah.
He has a lot of originality to his movies.
Yeah, and it's paying off. That I heard Us is the highest grossing original horror. Like other horrors like It, Halloween, you know, they're from franchises. They got a lot more going for them. This is an original idea. It's made all the money, and I think it's the most money being made by original since Avatar.
Wow.
So that's like what, 15 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's been a long time since Avatar. So you see how prevalent franchises are in Hollywood. So it's nice, refreshing that these original ideas can just make it.
Yeah.
Because like even other horror movies that you don't think that are vaguely based on stuff like Annabelle, you know, Creation, whatever. Yes, they're franchises, but also they're based off of true events. You know, but you know,
I like how you say true events.
Yeah, it is true events.
Yeah.
Well, the reason they do that, so they don't have to pay the actual people.
Right, I know.
Because since they're true events, it's not your life story. It's based on true events, and I'm like, oh, that's not a cool move.
Yeah,
but you know, it happens. Oh, and a lot of people know this from Get Out. At the end, when you find out the girlfriend's psycho, she's eating Fruit Loops separate from the milk.
Right. I was like, I saw that and I was like, whoa.
And I'm like, oh, that's a great metaphor.
I'm telling you, this director is going places.
Yeah, so it's very safe to assume watching Get Out that everything means something in the movie. Mm-hmm. You know. I forgot to mention Elizabeth Moss character, the other family's mom. You know, she said she had some work done, right?
And she's cutting her.
Right. She cut her own face, but also she already had a huge gash on her face. I think that's what happened to her downstairs because they're all forced to follow stuff. Like, apparently, you know, the Red had to give a cesarean birth without a hospital. And I'm like, oh, that sounds terrifying.
Oh, my God.
Like, it's more terrifying in your head to think about than actually to see it, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it had many layers. I'm pretty sure I missed a lot, you know?
Yeah.
But.
So, yeah, I mean, I would love to touch upon this more, you know?
We'll get back on it, like, around Halloween.
Yeah, maybe Halloween or, you know, when Jordan Peele, you know, makes another great movie. Like, he's also got, he's taking over the Twilight Zone. And I think he's going to do a great job. He knows how to twist it and build worlds that are a little askew, you know.
We look forward to his work.
Yeah, I'll say. Can you imagine, like, most people think Jordan Peele is like comedian. You know,
well,
back in the day,
you can tell that the movies do have comedy to it.
Yes, and it's refreshing to have those little pieces of levity. Like Winston Duke's jokes, like he's like already like he kept mentioning how you know, see in the bedroom, you know, where the magic happens, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, yep, thank you for joining us for the post-credits show. Next week is Dumbo.
Oh, big one.
I believe an elephant can fly.
Okay.
If there's enough CGI.
We'll see. We'll see how Mr. Tim Burton does.
Yeah. And
it's been a while.
And it's the return of Batman and the Penguin.
Yep. Oh.
You'll understand if you look up the cast list.
A lot of people have mixed feelings about the movie. I've asked. I think it's going to be good.
Oh, Dumbo. The first one, you know, I don't think it's a perfect movie, and that's what remakes should be. You take flawed movies, overall good but flawed, and then try to make them better. That's when you should remake, you know.
Which one is the first one? The animated one?
Yeah, Dumbo, the animated one.
That's the first one?
I thought.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me, they're not the same movie.
No, they're not.
Definitely not.
They're probably cutting out, you know, the jive talking crows.
I think they're cutting out the mouse, too.
Yeah, the mouse. He had the most speaking lines in the whole movie, and he's not even in the movie. Wow.
We'll see. So we'll see. We'll talk about it next week.
I think the pink elephants will be there just as bubbles.
Okay.
I think that's how they're doing it. And I think the song will just be turned into a score. I don't think they'll even have that song.
Okay.
So one song remains intact.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
All right. See ya.